Alrighty. So, something funny happened over the weekend, and I only found out about it through our Twitter page.
Lay it on me, Big Bear.
Well, I thought it was funny because I thought for sure that if you were on if you looked at the trending, you would also point it out.
I probably saw it, but couldn't think of anything funny to say about it, so I was just like, I'll wait till something else comes up.
Okay. Well, the funniest part about it is that. So, okay. On January 1st, I think, apparently there was a riot at a Miami mall.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard about that?
I have not, no.
Okay. Well, news didn't actually come out about it until yesterday. So, that's one of the funny things about this.
One real quick, when I put this into Google, the first story that comes up says aliens at the Miami
That's
Mall.
exactly what it is. So, the amount of police that showed up to the Miami Mall is insane. Like, you need to look at photos. You might be able to see every cop in Miami showed
I'm looking
up.
at like a top-down aerial view of like 20 police cars just parked around.
Well, it's more than 20.
I know.
It's
There's
more.
just this
It goes
picture.
down the highway.
Oh my god. Oh yeah. Now I'm
But-
seeing. Okay, now I'm seeing it. Oh
So
yeah.
the thing is the media,
Uh-huh.
like all the news outlets, didn't fully know what was happening at first. And they were saying, okay, all this happened because, a group of kids got in a fight. And then some media outlets were like, oh, they were setting off fireworks. And then a few other ones were like, oh, they were hitting each other with sticks. That's what they were saying. And it only fueled the, conspiracy of, why do you need this many cops for a couple of teenagers with sticks? In actuality, I think it was, 100-person, mob inside of, a riot. But because the media did such a bad job of, actually covering it and also not covering it in time, they waited 5 days for anything to cover it, people just let their conspiracies run wild. And there's tons of videos on TikTok of people zooming in and putting 5 different filters and extra bringing out the sharpness. The one that I saw at first, the tag
Yeah.
was the Nephilim are coming. It was something from
Sound
the Bible.
horns.
The next one was there's aliens
Yeah.
at the mall.
You know what I just
wanna-
realized? The article I'm
Yeah.
reading on it is, I don't know why this is the one I clicked on, but it's literally from the Hindustan Times.
I don't.
That's the
Okay.
a state in India that New Delhi is in.
Well, the reason why I bring this up is because I thought it was really funny, and I was wondering what your first thought would be if you saw that many cop cars. Just if you were driving down the road and you're like, "Oh my God, what's going on at the mall?"
Not being funny, my genuine first thought would be believed bomb threat. Like a bomb threat got called in that they think is credible. You know what I mean?
I thought that too, but this is what made me be like. So my two things was either bomb threat or some sort of shooting, something like that, or a political figure was there and they got hurt.
Ah, I got you.
See, the thing that was what was a bomb threat? They really did just put every cop in the line of fire.
Yeah, no, that part I agree with, because they wouldn't send everyone just for, especially if it was going to go boom, they wouldn't want everybody there.
Yeah, so I was like, well, I don't know. I was watching Will Neff's stream last night.
Mm-hmm.
He does a lot of late night streams, and I like watching him. He's one of my favorite Twitch streamers. But he does a very good job of responding to everyone in chat. And I was actually talking in chat, and I was like, "Hey, did you hear about the Miami Mall?" And he was like, "I did hear about the Miami Mall." It was actually crazy how he's just going off. Basically, what we just said is crazy that people thought it was aliens. He was like, I heard it was like 100-person like riot fight, like mosh pit going on there. I was like, that's wild.
I feel that.
Because the layout of that mall, if you look at like Google Maps, is it's like one of those open air malls.
Yeah, yeah,
It's not like it's a building.
yeah,
It's a couple of buildings, and you walk, on like a sidewalk to get into them, stuff like that.
yeah.
What about you? Did you see anything interesting in the past week or so?
Kind of. I sent you a short earlier today that kind of plays into what I was going to talk about. Are you familiar much with like the haptic controls?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Okay, so I'm gonna shout her out because I really like her content. But I've been watching a lot of shorts by this YouTuber named Genghis VR, and she's a VR based YouTuber, and all she really does is just show off like little knickknacks and things you can do to like make it more immersive. And she has a lot of videos showing off like haptic feedback vests where like, for those who don't know, since for those who don't, when you get like hit in a video game or something, it actually uses like an electronic node that's touching your skin. Like you don't wear clothes under it, and it's got like an electronic node that touches your skin that like shocks in response to your character being hit and stuff. um I hate everything about that. Could you? There are so many games that I wouldn't play if I could actually be hurt by them. It's like all I would play would be like fucking Tetris.
I feel like I would be, if I had it, I would play games more.
Cause I mean, man, even like my fucking like hockey games that I play, like in the NHL series, it's like I don't want to feel fucking Tom Wilson hitting me at 75 miles an hour. I don't want that to get recreated directly into my sternum.
The funny thing about that is it seems like a new technology,
Yeah, I know
but
it's been around for a
seen,
decent bit.
I think the first version of that I ever saw was like a vest that you could get, and it was like, I don't know, in 2013. It was big among like Call of Duty YouTubers. They were like, "Oh, this is so cool," and then no one got it.
No, I feel that. Apparently, the first haptic suit that came out actually came out in 1994.
Oh wow!
And this thing looks like a fucking nightmare. This thing looks like it would genuinely hurt you, and I don't mean in the way that it like was meant to.
Link it to me.
I will. Well, okay, let me. Yeah, okay. This thing is a fucking nightmare. I'm just gonna link you the Wikipedia article.
I think I might be wrong, but Michael Reeves is a YouTuber that does like a lot of technology videos. Have you
Yeah, he
seen
used to
him
play
before?
Superman.
No. He made like a drone that would follow people and like just swarm them.
Hmm.
He does a lot of technology stuff, but I feel like because he loves tasers, I feel like he could make a really scary suit like this. I
I
think
feel that.
he made a Finding Waldo haptic suit,
I'm actually
not
really
suit but chair.
curious because it says that when this thing was first launched, it was $100, which is wildly cheap sounding. But I'm trying to see how
Bruh,
much.
inflation.
Yeah, I'm trying to see in 1994 how much value of the dollar. So yes, that $100 is worth $219 today. Even then, let me look up the price of a haptic suit now. Yeah, even like the low tier ones, you're looking at like $500. That's
Yeah,
wild. That's
but
a wild change.
you can also put that to, better technology.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, of course. Yeah, because the one that Genghis VR wears is called the OWO, OWO,
The
haptic suit.
uwu.
Yeah, the OWO. And I'm trying to see how much it is, but it's let's see, works with that's in euros. That does not help me.
How many euros is it?
539 euros.
Probably like $600 US.
Yeah, probably. Oh, well, that was for the special Assassin's Creed Mirage edition. So it's actually about 490 euros. So it's not that's not too bad compared to other prices I saw. So it's like, but still, man, that's expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, 539 euros is like 590 USD.
Yeah, so it's not that
So,
much.
yeah.
I,
Um,
I don't think you could pay me to use a hap. I mean, I would definitely try it, but like, I that just seems so not fun after a little bit.
hey man, I would use it. It'd be really funny to get like a LAN party going of people with haptic suits all playing Lethal Company.
God.
You're in the room, you just hear someone get hit in the background, or the bracken comes up and just breaks someone's neck, and they're like, "Oh my god!"
Ah, shit.
I didn't realize how menacing the red light makes me look
Yeah,
to the
you've
right
got
of
a
me.
very You can see my stuffed animals, and meanwhile you're somewhere in the bowels of hell.
Yeah. Next time we do a recording session, I'll make sure I fix my
Other
light from
lights.
flickering.
Fair.
Well, let's see here.
I suppose now is as good a time as ever to introduce the episode. So thank you, one and all, for listening. Welcome to the Fluffy Biscuits podcast. My name is Zach. I'm joined, as always, by my good friend and co-host, Jacob, aka Nazir TL, on YouTube. You can also now find us more on, what's it called? Twitter, because we've actually started using that. But I'll talk more about
We have
that at
actually
the end of the
started
episode.
using it. That makes sense. I'm saying a lot. I think I picked up that habit from you. Because of watching the old the old videos that I had to edit, where you just be like,
So something else I wanted to talk about though, that was interesting to me over the holidays, right?
Yep.
Because for those of you who don't know, these are obviously done well in advance, and we have not done any since the holidays came and went. But over the holidays, I went on a kick of watching a YouTube series called The Lore Lodge. I'm not sure if you ever heard of him, but
Nope.
he does this series on I don't know what to call it. I guess a conspiracy theory called Missing 411. Are you familiar with that?
That's a game, isn't it?
No,
Oh.
it's a I don't know how to describe it. The best way I can describe it is a conspiracy theory. But I am fascinated by it. So here's the real brief summary of it. There's a dude
Alrighty.
who's a former cop named David Politis, and he decides sometime in the late 90s, early 2000s, that all of these people that have gone missing in all these national parks and in like remote areas and stuff, they're all
Yeah.
actually connected. And this isn't like a creepypasta or something. This is like something he also very genuinely believes in Sasquatch, Bigfoot or Sasquatch. So take it with a grain of salt. Whether you believe that or not, I don't. Not you personally, but those listening, I don't care about that. You're welcome to believe whatever you want. But usually that is more of a gateway to other conspiracies. And I thought it was really interesting. He's written 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. He's written about 11 of these books dating back to 2012 after having written 2 Bigfoot books. And he's made 3 video documentaries, all of which are, I'm going to say, not respected necessarily. And I have been absolutely enthralled by it. It's like one of the things I found when I was looking him up is I read this this magazine called The Skeptical Inquirer that had a guy writing about like his own investigation into it. And one of
Yeah.
the things that he said that you can also see this on Wikipedia, but I do recommend actually reading into it if you're curious. But the man said, I've exhausted my exploration for anything genuinely unusual. After careful review to me, not a single case stands out, nor do the frequencies involved seem outside of expectations. And another person said, Politis gave no reason for these disappearances, but seems to find odd correlations for them. For example, 2 women missing in different years, both had names starting with an A with 3 letters, Amy and Anne. So it's like, but no, but the reason I was curious about it is like this thing has like a huge online following, like a big online following.
So it's a just to get this right, because I don't think you explicitly said this, but it's a book based on real things that
It,
happened.
yes, it is. He from everything that you read from it seems to believe what he's writing.
Oh, so, okay. So it's probably not real.
Well, all the disappearances are real according to him.
Okay.
And a lot of them you can look up and there is news. But the thing is, it's like, there's
Interesting.
like a guy will get eaten by a bear in Alaska, and then another person gets eaten by a cougar in Oregon, and he'll come in and be like, "We never found them. How do we know these were actually bears?" You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
and I'm not necessarily saying that like he's a crock. You know what I mean? I'm more
Yeah.
just saying that like it's very fascinating to me because the following that it has was so fascinating. Like there's people that will make these like the Lore Lodge for instance, but a lot of people will make these long YouTube videos of like what could have happened to him, where could he have got, but you know what I mean? And it's like
Yeah.
and it's disappearances that I don't think people would have necessarily not saying cared about in that sense, but dedicated this kind of time to out if it hadn't been for the influence of like missing 411.
I mean, I guess in some way, you know, it could be used in some way. That's good, right? It's drawing light to a subject where maybe someone it eventually it'll get to someone that might actually know something
Mm-hmm.
or
Yeah.
figure something out. But I know I might actually look into it because this stuff is very interesting.
Oh, I recommend looking into it, and I actually recommend watching the Lore Lodge about some of the spirits. It is fascinating. I just think that it's wild that this dude is for literally like 14 years now. He's just been pushing out all this
Making these
like
books and
all
stuff.
these books, just being like, "Hi, now I'm gone to Canada and look at all these missing people." It's like, okay, bud.
Maybe maybe the person just wants, inspiration, and this is how they find it.
That's fair, but it's not like he's writing fictional novels. You know what I mean? It's like he's writing like I wouldn't call them documentaries, but they are like, at least as he presents it, like it's questionable evidence. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The best way I could probably like describe it from based on what you're saying is it's almost like he is solving a mystery and then releasing his finding, even though he's not really doing that kind of thing.
I think you're completely correct, and it's actually really funny. When I was like 18 to 19, I got every book, every article, everything I could ever find that I thought I could use, and I wrote all in this like thick black, like the notebooks you used in school, the composition notebooks.
Yeah.
I had this thick black composition notebook, and I thought I was gonna solve Jack the Ripper. And for like a
That's
year, I
funny.
worked on that, and that's the vibe I get from this. You know what I mean? Except even less like incredible. He's a former cop, I'll say that much, but so I guess there's that.
Now, when you say Jack the Ripper, you mean in like the UK, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
in Britain?
yeah.
Okay. Because some people think, he moved to the United States.
Yeah, no, I just the UK stuff, the Whitechapel murders.
I know Jack the Ripper is also a very interesting thing to look into. It's always interesting looking into like serial killers that haven't been caught, and it's like because most of them want to be caught. Like they leave stuff behind specifically as like a calling card. It's sort of like it's how they get off. You know what I mean? It's like they want the thrill of possibly being caught, but they
Yeah,
don't want to make it easy.
I think I know I'm the concept of the concept of unsolved mysteries is always very fascinating to me. So I can definitely understand other people's fascination with it all the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It'd be really cool if we, as like a bit for the podcast, if in the next time we do like a recording session, obviously not next episode, but we both have chosen an unsolved mystery and then looked into it and tried to present our part of the mystery to each other.
I'd be down. Look forward for that for episode 16. No, 17.
Yes. I'm willing to do that for like, I don't know, a 10-minute bit from both of us. A 10-minute from us just trying to give our sides. Obviously all in good humor because we're not going to actually solve anything. There will
That's
be a
certainly fair.
disclaimer.
Yeah, this is not going to be our successful a successful moment for us, but you know.
Let's see here.
What you looking up?
Well, okay. I don't know what it is, but isn't there like a new TV show called like Saltburn?
Saltburn.
I've only heard about it. I haven't actually looked into it because I thought it'd be funny to look at it on the podcast.
It's a film.
A film.
Well, at
I
least that's
saw
what
the only things I saw was like you kind of want to watch this movie alone and not with people because it gets kind of weird.
like sexy weird or like scary weird.
I guess the first one.
Oh, cool. It's a black comedy psychological film written and directed and produced by Emerald Fennell. It stars a bunch of people I've never heard of.
Read out the plot for us.
Well, it's 7 paragraphs long, so...
Don't read out the whole plot for us.
So let's see. Spoilers ahead if you are planning on watching Saltburn. Dude goes to college, struggles to fit in. At Saltburn, he meets somebody's parents, okay? His sister, and then very quickly... The summer ends... blah, 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 blah. This is all... Oh, hey, here we go. What is this? One night, he watches Felix masturbating in a bathtub and lustfully drinks the semen-laced bathwater. He later
Okay.
seduces Venetia and performs oral sex on her while she is menstruating. Farley witnesses this and informs Felix. When Felix confronts Oliver, he claims nothing had happened. At night, Oliver initiates a sexual encounter with Farley, threatening him in the process to behave. Farley gives
All
no
right,
enthusiastic
pause.
consent.
Pause. We don't need to read any more of it. That sounds insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, I was debating on whether I would actually watch it after this. I don't think I'm gonna watch it.
So I'm going to leave out the names just in case you do watch it, but Blank insists that Blank should extend his stay in Saltburn. Blank mourns Blank and visits his grave. He undresses and sexually grinds himself against the soil on top of his grave.
This is weird.
Hey, you asked me to read
It's
it
a
just 'cause
comedy.
I'm unaffected
I know.
by anything.
I know. It's comedy, isn't it?
It's
It
yeah,
said
it's
it
a
was
black
comedy?
it's a black comedy psychological thriller.
Okay, so it's morbid humor.
Yeah. But
Makes sense.
yeah, it seems strange.
It does seem strange.
Very, very strange.
The only things I saw on like TikTok or Twitter is like Saltburn, and then I'd look through it, and everyone's like, "I made the bad decision of watching this with my family," and I'm like, "That's insane. What is this?" And I was like, "I'm gonna wait to look that up." It took me 20 minutes to remember the name of it.
Oh.
I would like to say that every year, the like on Twitter, everyone goes crazy, like at least once a month for like the Nintendo Switch 2 or the Switch Pro. And it didn't even take a full 24 hours into 2024 for people to start going insane about it on Twitter. They're like, "We got new leaks. We got new leaks." And like the new leaks directly conflict the old ones, so it's just like none
Oh,
of
I mean
these are real.
that's always how that kind of stuff goes. Until the people start actually putting things out there, I'm always like, me. Like the people making it, I mean.
Yeah. I agree. Isn't there a new Dragon Age coming out soon?
Yeah, they're supposed to be. It's gonna be weird because Dragon Age Inquisition did that thing that a couple of games, Fallout 3 did this, and I think a couple others as well, just off the top of my head. Mass Effect 3, I guess, technically did it, but it was free. Where it's like the true ending was actually done through DLC, right?
Yeah.
Like, so did you ever play Fallout 3?
I haven't. I haven't played it yet though.
Okay, so Fallout 3 ends with a like an actual ending. It's not like you can't continue the
Yeah.
open world. It's through a DLC that extends the main story that you can actually see the ending and like beat the big bad and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so Dragon Age Inquisition did the same thing where it was called what was it called? Either way, you get married. You marry whoever your chosen romance was, and that's kind of the end of the thing. But then it's revealed that the big bad was hidden amongst you the whole time. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody, but
Good, because I actually want to play through that
yeah.
game.
But you only learn that through the DLC, and then the DLC shows the big bad like getting away, and then that's like it. And so the fourth Dragon Age is supposed to continue that storyline, but I hate that concept because it's like I would have to say at least, let's say 40% of the people that beat Dragon Age Inquisition didn't get the DLC. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
maybe even 20%, because it's like, oh, that drives me up the wall, because it's like you're not. I'm curious if they're gonna try to pivot from that ending and make it like a more succinct story there, or if they're gonna completely just be like, fuck it, it's a new thing, just pretend that never happened.
I don't know. I remember when I was like younger, before like I had the newer consoles, I wanted to
Yeah,
play Dragon Age, but
fair.
I never got like I watched it on YouTube when I was really young. I don't remember anything about it. I own Dragon Age Inquisition. I started to play it, and then I just got sidetracked, probably with like a multiplayer game, whatever was big at the time. So I have Inquisition, and I want to play the other ones, but I don't know.
That's fair. No,
I
sorry.
I was just gonna say, going along the lines of the DLC thing. It's interesting to see the DLC hype, because DLC. Would you consider DLC like a micro transaction?
In previous years, no.
Okay.
Up until about 2014, I viewed DLC as a small expansion pack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you would buy Warcraft, and then you would get Warcraft the Ice Siege, the expansion packs back in the day.
Yeah.
But in recent years, yes, DLC is definitely a microtransaction, because it's like now it's not like you buy, a bunch of new quests or a new companion or just whatever. And now it's like, you can go onto like the Steam store and hit the DLC button, and then it's like 20 bundles of buying their in-game currency. So it's like, yes, that's
Oh yeah.
obviously.
Well, one of the things that's interesting is that in terms of like DLC and expansions, like what you're talking about, getting a new map and stuff like that or whatever,
Yeah.
and microtransactions that would be referred to as like skins and stuff.
Yeah.
And the reason why skins are so possible or like so prominent is because apparently it is a company is more likely to make money off of skins than DLC. So they will be spending like I don't know, months in development of these new quests and gameplay, and no one like people will get it. But if they just spent like a month or like a few weeks on a cool looking skin, they'll instantly make like 5 times as much money as the DLC would make.
Yeah, I feel
Oh
that.
no, my GoPro went
Oh
weird.
no! Oh no!
Keep
We lost
talking.
Jacob. Oh,
Oh
he's
shit,
back.
we're back. I
That was
don't know.
impressive.
I don't know why it did that. It just turned off and turned back on. Okay.
You know
Do you
an
have
interesting
anything
thing
you want to lead into?
about BioWare, the make Dragon Age, right?
Yeah.
One, like, I think it's like 150 of the people that were working on the game have since like either left or been fired from BioWare since like 2017. And another thing that's really interesting to me is that they made the original Baldur's Gates, and technically they
Yeah.
own the right to Baldur's Gates, and then Larian Studios made 3 for them. I thought that was really interesting because they don't do a lot of outsourcing, BioWare, but
Yeah.
in recent years they have been, and I gotta wonder if that's because like everybody's just fucking leaving.
Well, to be fair, the early D&D games, like the Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, I think Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 are okay, but
Yeah,
Icewind Dale and other ones like that are kind of bad, but
I
not in
don't
the
think
way that you would think.
I don't think they made Icewind Dale, but they did make Baldur's Gate and Neverwinter Nights.
Well, so for instance, Icewind Dale, me and Josh bought Icewind Dale to
We're talking about the old one, right? Like the isometric.
yeah,
Yeah, I got you.
yeah. The thing is older games are used with THACO. Do you know what THACO is?
No.
So in D&D, it's only for D&D. It's a D&D thing.
Yeah, I got you.
So in newer games, essentially, you want to roll high, right? So
Yeah.
say you roll a d20 and you roll a 16.
Hmm.
You have to then you add your modifier, whatever, like however well you were able to use a sword, you add that. So maybe it's a 3. So you roll 16, you add 3, it's a 19. You have to roll above a 18 to hit something. So you rolled 19, you hit it because they hit them, their AC, their armor class is 18. So you hit above it. THACO is to hit an AC of 0,
I got you.
meaning that instead of adding, you have to hit, it's some different, more like nerdy mathematical equation. I can explain it. Just let me Google it.
Let me just look it up and read it to you so I can explain it.
So if a character's THACO was 10, that meant they needed to roll a 10 to hit an AC of 0, a 9 to hit an AC of 1, or an 11 to hit an AC of -1. How does it make any fucking sense?
It doesn't. I'm borderline confused just hearing you tell me about it.
Essentially, I guess the higher you go, the lower the actual AC. It doesn't. It's stupid. It's a dumb thing. That's why they changed it. And I think it's one of the. I think it's like from Advanced D&D Advanced or something.
Yeah.
Essentially, it is the hardcore nerds that just like the math part of D&D
It is from
rule
the
set.
2nd edition rule set of Advanced Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But they used that, and so it was kind of always, it's weird because you're like, yeah, I'm actually doing good, but then you realize it's THACO and you're like, oh my god, I'm doing terrible.
I can certainly understand that. You know what's really interesting is the people that make Icewind Dale, Black Isle Studio, they made the first 2 Fallouts.
Oh really?
Yeah, Fallout 1 and Fallout 2. And set
And
in 97 and 98.
yeah, the thing is, I can see it not being a terrible rule set if you were playing during the time when that was the rule set kind of thing.
Yeah.
But now it's like it's so much simpler where you have to hit 19, you just have to roll above a 19.
That definitely makes sense, though. Like,
Oh,
obviously, as the.
and
Because when Icewind
Okay.
Dale came out, man, I don't even think D&D was like 20 years old when Icewind Dale came out. So let's see. Was it? Oh well, yeah. Okay, it was. Never mind. D&D's a little older than I thought it was.
D&D is pretty
Night.
old, but you
Yeah, night.
also forget that the Satanic Panic was a thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
It kind of set it back a few years.
Yeah. Yep. I'll believe that.
I have a funny story. So I used to go to a game shop when I was younger,
Mm-hmm.
and when when D&D 5e, like the starter set came out, the game
Yeah.
shop got it in 2 weeks early, and I didn't play D&D at the time. But I helped them unload the boxes from the truck just because I was there, and I was waiting for like a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament to start.
That's fair.
And the owner shop told me what was in the boxes. And I was like, oh, I've never played D&D before. I kind of want to play.
Yeah.
Can I get that? And he was like, you can get it. Like, people were around this. He was like, you can get it, in 2 weeks when it comes out. But then
Yeah.
later, as I was about to leave, he was like, hey, I got that card you were looking for. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, come over here. I'll show you. You asked about it. I walk over there, and he just goes, put this in your bag, and just hands me a starter set. He was like, thank you for unloading the truck.
Certainly fair.
That was really cool. But also, there's a story because I remember a few weeks after that at another Yu-Gi-Oh tournament, I was talking to a much older guy, and he was telling me that when he was playing D&D when he was in high school, he was walking home, and he was, in a bad part of our city. And so, like,
Yeah.
a cop just stopped him because, he had a backpack, and he didn't always walk. So the cop was like, hey, what are you doing? There's been some robberies in the neighborhood. Can I look through your backpack? And the dude had like D&D dice and like stuff in it. And the cop was just like, bro, you're a nerd. Why did I get out of here? You're just some nerd. Literally just was like, leave. What are you doing here? It
Poor
was so
asshole.
funny.
That's just rude
Yeah.
as hell.
Um,
Sorry, I thought you were a thief. Turns out you're just a fucking dweeb.
before we
He
move on
like
from the
he like
Icewind Dale
trips him
thing,
as he's leaving. What's the
before we move
matter,
on from the
dweeb?
Icewind Dale thing, I just want to add, it also is a game that heavily relies on you pausing the game to
That's fair,
like
yeah.
designate where you're attacking. Just like, Baldur's Gate 3 is like a turn-based game. This game is not a turn-based game. You have to pause the game, but nowhere does it explicitly tell you pausing the game is actually going to save your life, because it'll just auto hit for the longest time, and you're just like,
That's fair.
is this just RNG? Why am I not actually winning?
No, I I really want to like a lot of those top-down games with the isometric RPGs, CRPGs, but
Yeah.
I can fuck hard with the new ones. In fact, over Christmas, that game Atom RPG, I've fallen in love with that, and it's like a Soviet version of Fallout, like a Russian version of Fallout, and
I
it's
did see you
fantastic.
playing that.
But the what do you call it? The other ones that I've tried recently, I tried both of the Pathfinder games. I've tried the Divinity Original Sin.
Yeah, the second
And
one as
the
well.
first, yeah, and the thing is, I can get into all these, but the minute you go back to like 2005 or prior, I just can't unless I just mod it to hell to make it as like modern UI. I don't care about graphics. I don't care about sound. I don't care about anything like that. What I care about is like, is the game fun? Like, are the rules and difficulty and all that fun? And just a lot of the times they just aren't.
One of my favorite YouTube series that I watched about D&D when I was like young was one of the old video games that came out. It was the Temple of Elemental Evil. One of
I
those
think I've
games.
heard of that.
Yeah, well, like, I don't know who makes it. Let me see if I can find it. It says it's made by Troika Games.
Oh, fuck, what do they make? Shit. No, I know what Troika makes. They made they made Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, I think.
Well, Temple of Elemental
Yeah,
Evil
they did.
is
They did.
actually one that I'm thinking about getting and playing through because I vaguely remember watching it. And also, it has a way better UI than, like, Icewind Dale has. I think it has multiplayer. Maybe.
That would be interesting. Everything I'm reading says it's a single player game though.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, they made Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. I love that game. And they actually made Arcanum, I think. Arcanum of
Yep, they did.
Steamworks and Magic Obscura. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I liked this one okay. It's just, man, sometimes those old games though just really get me. Like I cannot play the first two Fallouts. They are fun and like the writing's so good and all, but god, it's just such a slog. Like and
The
I don't care about it compared to like the oh well now the Fallouts are prettier and they're in 3D. I don't care about that. It's just like ugh. Or another great example of a game that's like that age that I just cannot fucks with is Heroes of Might and Magic or just Might and Magic, yeah. Because Heroes is like a RTS, but Might and Magic, right, was like a
yeah.
first-person, almost Elder Scrolls-ish game. And I have tried so hard to play that game. I have tried so hard to play that game. And it's like, I just can't. I just can't. Yeah, the one I have is Might and Magic 8 Day of the Destroyer from 2000.
Yeah, it's like looking at the games. I remember, like, being young and looking at these games and being like, man, I really want to play these types of games. So even now, when I look at them, I'm just like, dang, I should really get one of these because they just look nostalgic. Just because I always wanted to play them, but I know the second I do play them, it's gonna be like, dang, I shouldn't have done this. It ruined the nostalgia.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that. That's the way I've been kind of having to navigate when I play like retro games on my like emulators and stuff. Is that it's like I don't want to hit a point where I'm like, man, I remember this game so like that happened to me with Jack and Daxter. Fuck me, man. I loved that
That
game as a
sounds
kid,
familiar.
and I fucking put turned that on for the first time in like 20 years, and it was rough. It was rough.
So I
It's
do have something to swap to.
carry me on then.
Okay. So you know what Star Citizen is?
Yeah,
Okay. So
it's
you
not
know
actually
that.
me how much money it's made.
Well, I do think, for instance, whatever the fuck that Bethesda game that came out
Mm-hmm.
is,
Starfield.
Starfield. The people that were playing Starfield wanted Star Citizen
Yeah.
because they were like, "Oh, it loads when you go into planets and it's procedurally generated." Star Citizen is like, there's no loading screens really, other than just appearing and going in an elevator. That's it. That,
Yeah.
but the reason why Bethesda could never is because Star Citizen's been working on this game for years, and they are still nowhere near being done. But it is very, it's very CPU intensive, very hard to run game on the computer because it's so big.
Yes.
It's one of the things I'm looking forward to trying with my new processor that's coming in. I just saw, but the reason I bring it up is because I just saw an article that said Star Citizen has been flogging bundles since 2018, and they've always been notorious within the community for their pricing, with the first clocking in at a mere $27,000 for a bundle.
Yeah. Yeah. What's wild too? Yeah. Star Citizen has over $444 million in budget more than Starfield did.
Yeah.
That's just wild.
Another thing is that the newest bundle that just released, which is what this article is specifically talking about, is $48,000.
Yeah, it's probably like their top like Kickstarter thing you can do, or something like that.
No, you buy it from their website,
Oh,
and you
well, that's
get
fair.
in-game ships. You get like every ship you can get in the game.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's bullshit.
Which, yeah, it is. But it's very funny because the community about this game, like I want to play it, right? The
Hmm.
reason why I haven't played it more is because it takes forever. Like it's one of those games where when you sit down to do it, it's gonna take you like an hour before you're actually doing anything.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna have to like get supplies. It's very much more of a simulator than most games. It's very simmy and grindy. But Noah, whenever I play with my friend Noah, he would always get in the game, and as soon as we're about to do something, he'd crash.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my entire experience with it. I never played it myself, but I was in a group of people for a time where they played Project Zomboid, and at some point they took a break from it and went to it. And literally, anytime I would join a call when everybody was hanging out playing stuff, it would literally just be everybody complaining that they can't like make anything work.
Well, funny enough, I can play it now, and because I have a decent computer now, but with the processor it'll be even better. But the I never had any problems. The only problems I would have is when Noah would fucking crash right as we're turning in a quest. But the quest is a timer. So he would crash and his character doesn't immediately leave, right? So his character is turning in a quest and I can't move him out of the way. So I'm just staring at him like,
Oh, I
you ruined
gotcha.
this quest for the both of us, you fucking loser.
You've ruined it for everyone.
And then by the time, like, I couldn't even bring out, like, a gun to shoot him because we're in a safe zone. It's like, you can't shoot. And if you do shoot, I'm pretty sure you get, like, I don't know, taken out. Whatever. Kind of insane. I do think I'll end up playing this game more with my new processor. It'd be fun to stream and, like, because it's so simmy, just going places will have a lot of free time to talk kind of
That's
thing.
fair. Yeah, Star Citizen actually has a higher budget than the Titanic 2, which is insane to me.
Does it have a bigger budget than Baldur's Gate 3?
Oh, yeah, definitely. But I mean, Titanic 2 is a real ass boat. Like, that's a whole fucking boat.
Yeah, but it's only as good as its legend.
Baldur's Gate
The
budget
first
is said to
Titanic.
be just underneath, or just over 100 million. So, yes, by far.
I think the budget that is taken into account is it's like because it's been in development far longer than Baldur's Gate
That's
3,
fair.
like, and it's constantly getting crowdsourced. That's what I would put it at. I don't think it'll ever be finished. It's one of those games. It's like Tarkov. Tarkov and Star Citizen are in that same vein of like, yeah, it's gonna be a great game when it fully comes out. Joke's on us, it's never going to fully come out.
I feel that, yeah. Yeah, I'd be very surprised if, you know, they, I'd be very surprised if anything came of it. I mean, not like it'll never be better, like run better, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's definitely got a lot of kinks to work out. And you know what I compare it to? I compare it to the mistake for a while that was Steam Greenlight. Do you remember that?
It had the Luma on it, didn't it? Like the green Luma star thingy.
Yeah. So Steam Greenlight was the first attempt at Steam to like bring indie developers in. It was like basically what prefaced early access, right? And
Yeah.
you would like go in and vote, and if enough of the community voted, then that game would get greenlit to go on Steam. And half the games that would go on there would just die in development because like these people made like a tech demo essentially, and then we're like, oh god, we're gonna make a whole game. That's kind
I
of the
think
vibe I
Steam
get from it.
Greenlight just changed to Steam Direct.
I thought it just got removed entirely.
In 2017, it says
Yeah,
the end
okay.
of Steam or Greenlight, and then it says Steam Direct now available, and it has a similar vibe to what you're saying.
Yeah, I got it. That's fair. That certainly does make sense. But yeah, that's the. Every now and then I go through my Steam uh, thing just to see all the fucking early access games I have that are just dead.
Sometimes I go through your Steam list and I like to play a game of if I click on this game, is it going to be hidden from the Steam store or is it going to just not show up?
That's fair. No, I definitely, man, I had a what was it called? Was it this?
Isn't it that Houston We Have a Problem game? Is that what
No,
you're
no, no, no,
talking
no.
about?
This one's different. This was actually fun. Yeah, it was an RTS. It was called like Order of War or something. And I had it on Steam for a while, and then it was like Officers of War. I can't remember what it was called. I think it was like a knockoff of an actual series, but it I really liked that one because I don't really know how to describe it, but it was just really fun for a simple like RTS. And then it's like gone. You can't even like install it.
Dang. The fuck. I think the first Steam game I ever got was Gary's Mod.
I wish there was a way to know. I'd love to know what my first Steam game is. It's probably something really dumb. I'm
Yeah.
gonna look at my library and see if there's a way to know.
I mean, this isn't my first Steam account, the one that you have me added on, so it's not like you
Oh,
could
that's
even
fair.
look at my game list. My other
Yeah,
one got hacked.
this is my first Steam account, so thankfully never been hacked.
Well, it's funny because it's not like I did anything to get hacked.
Well, I would
I
imagine.
played Counter Strike Go once. That was it, literally, because the dude hacked my account and all he did was play Counter Strike Go until he got it banned.
That's fair.
Yeah. Yeah, I could never get it back because at that time, I didn't have like a bank card linked to the account, so I couldn't
Yeah,
prove that it was me.
I feel that.
Very, very, very upsetting. But I also actually know it was Rust. The first game I bought was Rust before it had like a big update. Then I bought Gary's Mod because I also bought Rust and Gary's Mod for this Steam account at the same time, which I can explain to you off the podcast why that happened.
I could feel that.
Well, do you have one more topic to bring us into before we call it?
The first game I bought on Steam was called. Let me see. It was Magica, apparently, from what I can view from my activity in these.
That's
But anyway,
cool. I was playing Magica the other day.
I have never really put too much time into it. But yes, I have nothing more, so I believe that is a good time to end the episode. If you would wish, good old Jacob.
Yet you can lead us out.
All right, then. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. If you listened on Spotify, remember you can also find us on YouTube at the Fluffy Biscuits Podcast. If you watched on YouTube, remember you can find us at Spotify at the Fluffy Biscuits Podcast. My name has been Zach. You can find me on YouTube at Pixelated Trash. You can also find my videos here on the Fluffy Biscuits Podcast channel. And I've been joined by Jacob. You can find him over at NazirTL, both on Twitter and YouTube. He has his own content, as well as content he'll put out on the Fluffy Biscuits channel. Additionally, you can talk to us or message us on help me, Twitter, at Fluffy Biscuits Podcast. And we thank you all so much for watching and listening. Bye.